Why is that muted? Why is that muted? What
I
the
don't
hell
know.
is wrong with these programs resetting
Don't say
everything?
that. There. I moved.
Also, I think you need to add Shannon.
Okay.
You should probably
Let me
do
see if I
that.
remember how to do this. Um,
It's not hard. Skype isn't hard. I mean, it's stupid, but it isn't hard.
a minute. I hit the button. Oh, that's what I did. Whoops.
What are you? What are
I'm
you?
gonna be.
What are you doing?
I'm adding Shannon, except I hit the wrong button.
So, so, what's happening? Why is everything look all borked? Are we? What's happening?
Hello.
Yes.
Wait, can people hear me now?
Yeah, they've been able to hear you for a couple of minutes now.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to call Shannon, and then my tablet fell because it's not a nerd rage with me on it. With my tablet doesn't fall, and there's my beautiful hobbit. Ose called me ugly.
Um,
Oh, say, how dare
Skype is.
you?
Hold on, Skype is frozen for me. This is why.
That's what you get.
Oh, shut up. Not having a good night, I think. So. Okay, so what do I do here? Because I can hear you guys, but I can't. But I don't have an image or anything because Skype is frozen. I don't know why Skype is frozen. Gosh, I'm
I
so sick and
think
tired
that
of
it would
this.
be no rage if it ran smoothly and she loves the technical issues.
Well, don't
Well,
love. Can you not
Nope,
love the
it's
technical
really our
issues? The
trademark.
technical issues are garbage. I'm so tired of the technical issues tonight.
Ose, breathe. I'm going to need you to breathe.
Well, what I have to do first off is I have to close Skype because it's frozen. It's frozen except for the
Whoa!
audio. So you just have to give me a minute here, because of course. Sorry about this, everyone. This is clearly not my night. Okay, let's bring that back up. Let's go here. Let's rejoin the call. And there we go. Finally. Finally! That just took
Are we
forever.
good?
Yeah.
Yay!
I'm not
I
good, but
We know that. You're
Oh, I
in.
haven't said hello to anyone yet, so I guess Charles isn't saying hello to me.
He said hello. He said yo.
To all who have said hello to me.
He also said yo
My
people.
bad.
So whatever. All right, Fig Tim, I'm glad you can hear me. Okay. All right. So anyway, yeah. If I wanted to be called ugly, I would just step outside my house. I don't need this on the internet.
yes, you do.
Gosh, you're so bad. You are so
Yeah,
bad.
kind of I am. But seriously, Ose admits he called me ugly, and he called me fat the last time. I think the last time I was on, he called me fat. So, and you wonder why I don't want to be on the show anymore.
This
I
is
get
not how
berated.
you keep
Yeah, sure, that's
harem,
it.
young man.
I'm not part of his harem because he doesn't like fat, ugly people in his harem. Right?
Yeah,
Right, Ose?
we're not. I'm not delving into this tonight.
You're the one that said bad things. If you can't say anything nice, don't say nothing at all.
So, do we have the video up now? They can see us and hear us.
Yes,
Yes.
everything should be
I just
working.
realized. I was gonna sit down here. And I put this Deadpool blanket. Um, I should have tweeted a picture of this over the weekend.
You should have.
It would have been perfect for the Women's March.
What
It's
does it say?
Deadpool, and it says, "This time it's personal. This time it's for tacos."
Tacos.
It
I
would
had
have been so perfect.
giant TARDIS. This thing is 6 feet long, and it's the TARDIS door. And I'm probably going to pull my You see, it just keeps going. That's the top of it.
Is that your George W. Bush impression?
No! Shut up.
Just keep trying to wrap it around yourself. The internet goes crazy for that. We'll have great ratings.
Okay. I
huge.
understand that people want some kind of romance to go on with somebody in Nerd Rage. It ain't happening between me and Osei. It ain't happening.
It's like a
brother sister thing.
What's the word? It's a platonic harem.
I'm not sure harem is the correct word in that case, then.
So it's like a gang? It's like a street gang? Or is he...
It's the right word, because your mother said so.
I'm disturbed that his mother called us a harem.
I'm disturbed my mother called you a harem.
So funny. I mean, I can just see her being like, look at all the nice young ladies talking to my son suddenly.
No, it's not quite that.
It's gonna be, he's living with a couple of nice young ladies. And just FYI, right? I will break your face if you hurt one of my girls. Just put that out there. Anyway. You're gonna be a nice gentleman. It's okay.
Okay, so I do have one of my Tea Turtle shirts on. It's the It's too early. Please stop talking. I'm trying to lean back so you can read it.
You're very. Oh wait, I was like, you're very dark, but then I realized my brightness is on my screen is down.
No, her lighting's kind of dark anyway. Or her camera's
like her soul.
Like her soul, but her camera it might be just the brightness on her camera.
I just want it to be as dark as Ruth.
I'm kind of pale right now.
You're both kind of pale compared to me, and I'm still pale.
White.
You are pale.
Your face is pale.
You're so white.
He's pale for the winter. I mean, it happens.
You know? But hey, you know, you keep getting pale, and you might just earn you some privilege.
Ooh. Get you some privilege, Osei.
Get some.
Okay.
Shannon, okay, since Osei does, I'm going to just block Osei. Since Osei does, or wherever he's at, Osei doesn't care about this thing. What do you think of my new bangs? She took 4 to 6 inches off my bangs.
I saw that. I like it, and I want to do it. Because you see this mess.
Yes.
That mess needs to get fixed.
Yes. I have a really good stylist.
Well, I will be right there.
She does
I need a good stylist.
Wait, she does scalp massages. You can get your hands massaged while they do your scalp massage, and they do aromatherapy and a neck massage, and then they cut and style your hair. It's crazy pampering. It's amazing.
I don't know why you're complaining about getting a sunburn fake tan. I'm pretty sure tans are decadent.
Well, there's a reason he doesn't go outside, and it's because, he blinds everyone with his radiant pale skin.
Yeah. I do too, until I get a toasty layer, and then I'm good. I just get freckled.
He kind of shines with an unlight.
I get dark. I get dark.
I get darker.
I think I just spilled this on my little bunny.
No.
You could hear the bunny screaming in agony.
Right here, I'm going to miss my mouth. What?
Okay. Don't everybody talk at once.
Well,
Charles has brought up 3 different topics, and I can't keep up.
I know.
Talking about
on my phone, and it's super because I have my tablet. My computer's shut down, so it's really weird to be all on my phone. It's sparkling.
It is sparkling. I have a big phone now, and it actually works. but I don't know how to use it. Because I'm
I
old.
hear feedback. Not feedback, but I hear like an echo of myself.
Yeah, we can kind of hear ourselves through your speakers occasionally, Shannon.
Yeah.
Well, just like whatever. Hey, Squirt. Can I use your headphones?
Bear in mind, there's
That's
only
like
one correct
other
answer to that question.
That's some quality mothering right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I
Help your
wouldn't
mama
know.
do her internet show.
Okay, so I have an idea, and Shannon, it requires you to come to Indiana in the middle of April.
Oh gosh.
In the middle of April?
Yes, for a week.
Oh
We're
my
going.
gosh.
Okay. Comic-Con in Indiana is April 14th to the 16th. Carrie Elwes is going to be there. Sean Astin, Nichelle Nichols, Manu Bennett, and who else? Oh, they just announced someone else too. So like some amazing people, right? But that's not all. Osei is coming that week, and I was thinking there may be somebody else coming that week as well, and we could all like. And Bug's going to stay in my apartment too. And if you came, we could have a live nerd rage, like all of us in the same room.
It would be a
Like with
nightmare.
one computer? What?
No, well, we'd obviously have to set up a couple different computers, but we could all be like in the same room, like nerd rage from the same room.
What a camera? What a single camera wouldn't work for that?
Okay, we could do that too, but I might hit you if you get too close to me.
Wow, you're suddenly very loud. These work.
Okay, now shout at the top of your lungs. Just do it. Do it now.
Ah! No.
Why?
What was that?
What was what?
What was that death cry?
Ah! That?
Oh gosh,
That's a weak yell.
That sounded like a stock Hollywood sound effect.
That was me inhaling and then like also like pushing out sound. Nobody else. Come on, nobody else has done that.
Not consciously.
Wow, people. So Shannon, you should totally come up for Indiana Comic-Con because then we can all go to Comic-Con together and do Nerd Rage together, like in the same room. It'll be so fun. Also, Slumber Party. Hello.
Oh my gosh.
Bug and I were gonna bunk in my bed, but you could bunk with us in the queen size bed because you two are tiny enough. And then Osei, and if somebody else comes, can be in the other room. And all right, Shane does it too. Thank you, Shane. Thank you. I'm not the only one who does that. But Shannon, you should totally come up for Comic-Con. It will be so cool.
April. I have no money for that. I would love it, but yeah.
Comic-Con itself is only $60 for the whole weekend, and room and board right here, Casa de Ruth.
But also travel and time.
Shh.
Listen, just be practical about it. I understand.
You know what? Don't rain on my parade unless you have an umbrella for with a solution or something like that. But come on, Bug's gonna stay over, and it's gonna be so fun.
And I really, really want to be there. I just don't think I can.
You're gonna make me cry. You know, now that Osei is gonna be living here, you have to visit more. Because, I mean, I know I am reason enough to come visit, but I guess Osei can be another reason.
Well, I mean, really, I would come to see Bug. And you.
Oh, you know what? And Shane, yeah, if Shane would have come out too for that, oh, hello. We would probably have to, like, put Osei in the bathtub. But it's okay. It's big enough. We could just...
I'll stay in the bathtub.
Forever.
She loves my bathtub.
We know.
She could smell like the bubble bath all the way outside.
Yes. Yes, I
Because I
could.
was in there all day.
She was in the bathtub turning into a prune all day. Okay, that bathtub is actually decadent. It is a decadent bathtub. It is a glorious bathtub. It is a fantastic.
That's nice.
Bathtub. So, yes, wonderful, wonderful bathtub.
Charles, why are people harassing Dana? Like, I need to know why.
Well,
She's really
Twitter.
Right. She's really spoken out against the whole the Million Women's March or whatever it is. And because she has two sons, of course I'm going to be standing with men because I'm standing with my sons. They will, I'm not going to, just let these women who, don't even understand the world say crap about them.
What?
That was
Ooh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Anyway.
Right.
We're being asked
to
circus monkeys. I am not your monkey, Charles. I will not perform like one.
So, basically she's calling out the overt man hate of the feminist movement.
Yes. And they hate that she's calling out the man hate of the feminist movement. Bless you. And so they're attacking her. And they've actually, somebody published her address, which is insane.
Yeah, they do know that whole family is armed, right?
I got a text 17 minutes ago saying we can't hear you. Shane, can you hear us now?
That was 17 minutes ago when we were having trouble.
Oh, well, leave me alone.
Well, she just said bless you, so.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's me. I'm the one sneezing. Because I'm the one that's ill. Because, of course, I'm ill.
You know what? Okay, let's just address that we're supposed to feel pity for the sick dude, but when I was sick and dying in my bed, what did he do? Are you dead yet? Because I want your organs.
Yeah, pretty much.
He wants to harvest my organs. This is not the first time. He keeps trying to harvest my organs, and that's very disturbing.
Well, I want his books if he dies, so.
What?
I was going to say my collection's rather small at the moment.
We know it's small.
I need more hands. Oh my God.
You just left that wide open.
Anyway. So, how about those things that are happening in the world and stuff? And Mary Tyler Moore died. Mary Tyler Moore died, okay? That's a topic. That's a pop culture topic. She's no longer with us. She was 80 years old and she kicked the bucket. Pray for her family.
Okay. You know, right. That's not really in my wheelhouse. I never really watched her show.
It's not in my wheelhouse either, but I needed another topic. Totally needed another topic. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, who is stopping Joss Whedon from making films? This is confusing.
Oh, did you see he tweeted something that was very, it was just, even for Joss.
He called Ivanka a dog and said he wanted a rhinoceros to rape Paul Ryan to death or something.
But
I
there was,
mean, it's
which is,
really, really depraved stuff.
well, there was something he said. Oh gosh, it was right after. It was like right before the inauguration, and it was just kind of like, for a man who's who writes mostly libertarian anti-government characters, you're very pro socialism, fascism, like more government. I'm like, this does not judge. That, like,
I've noticed in all of his shows and well, not in the Avengers movies so much. He's stayed away from it, but Buffy and Angel, and in his tweets, he's very, very anti-Christian. I mean, he really likes to bash Christians.
I've noticed that.
And yeah, so now he's just kind of like out there. He's all over the place with just really hating on anyone right wing and any sort of ideas that are considered right wing. Yeah, it's it's hard for me to fathom how a man that hateful and bigoted can create good stories, because that kind of sort of toxic bias tends to ruin story.
Right. And like, one of his most popular set of characters, Firefly, were very live and let live.
Yeah.
They were very, against a powerful overlord government. And I'm sitting here going, but that's what you want. I don't understand where the disconnect is between what he writes and what he actually believes. It's so...
Well, he used a central government, but it was essentially the haves and the have-nots, which is a very socialist sort of mindset.
Right.
So, he dresses it up, but it's the haves and the have-nots. It's kind of the your downtrodden sort of, I don't want to say minority, but it's essentially what it is.
Yeah, because they were on the losing side.
Yeah.
You have the redhead who doesn't have a soul. I love Wash. You do have minorities. Yeah, you're right. It's just, I don't know. Keep going. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt. Brain.
No. He said in an interview that he was inspired by the Civil War, and kind of that whole dynamic of how America loves an underdog, and he wanted to write a story where the underdog was really someone that you could relate to and root for, and but they lost. And yeah, so I mean, he's talented, but I kind of, it seems like his partisan sort of crazy left-wing bias is going to ruin his storytelling.
It's gonna ruin his connection to his fan base.
Well, it's already done that. I mean, the video he put out of the Avengers stars, the Buffy stars, the Firefly stars, who were talking about, it was very anti-Trump. It wasn't overtly "I'm with her," but that was the message, because those were the only two in the race. It was just very anti-Trump. That turned a lot of people off. But that was still kind of, they could kind of laugh it off, like, oh, haha, you think that we care because, you know, you're celebrities. But now he is, you know, he's attacking people and saying really hateful and frankly ridiculous things. And, you know, just being petty. It's not even like he opposes Trump on principle or that he opposes his policy. He's just being petty. And that's where it's going to hurt him. That's where people are going to be like, you know what? I've had enough of this, you know, this jackwagon. And
talent will only take you so far if your personality sucks. Like, if you are a condescending, hateful, vile, profane, bigoted wretch of a human being, I don't care how talented you are or how amazing what you produce is. I'm going to want none of what you're selling me. Absolutely zero.
Right.
It just and Joss is just he's gone that way, which makes me sad because Joss Whedon, bless you, has written characters that I identify most with. Like, there are characters I sit there and go, that's exactly what I feel. Like, if you, I can sit there and go, I'm a Xander, and anybody who's watched Buffy understands exactly what I mean when I say I'm Xander. You know, I don't have superpowers. I get passed over. I get overlooked, but I see people's hearts. And I'm not that cool. I'm completely unlucky in love. But it's like Joss has always written characters that pretty much anybody can identify with and really make their own. They can get lost in his storytelling. They can get lost in his universe, and they can escape. And it makes you feel connected. Like, the fan base is incredible. Like, it's a complete other family that you could, you know, oh, you like Buffy, and all of a sudden it's like this door opens and you are part of something, and he's sitting there and he's ruining that with this rhetoric and with these ideas that don't even jive with reality. It's so sickening to watch.
Right. We met and talked to James Marsters at the con in New Orleans, and
I love him.
The second time that we went over there, I went back with my youngest, and you know, she had talked about wanting to be a writer, so he really took some time and talked to her one-on-one about, you know, how to do that, how to write, and how to get inspired to write. And he gave her some advice that Joss had given him. You know, basically think about like your most embarrassing moment, you know, the moment that you wouldn't want anyone to know about, you know, a moment that's just like makes you a sort of, you know, ashamed or whatever. And then find a fan base and write it and tell them the story. You know, you tell that very, very personal story, you know, through a medium that's directed at whatever it is, sci-fi, you know, sort of mythological, whatever. And that's why I think that, you know, his ranting and his just crazy sort of, you know, insane, bigoted hate towards everything right-wing and, you know, Trump and anything remotely connected to Trump, is going to hurt him as a storyteller, because he's so puffed up with his own, you know, sort of pride, his own sense of self-importance, that I think it would be very difficult to write a good story in that style where people relate, where people connect, you know? I I don't see him being as effective, not only because, you know, people don't want to listen to somebody who's been putting them down and calling them names, but because it just won't be as good.
So I want to address this really quick. Charles asked, "Isn't the guy who played Xander in jail?" And Shane said, "Charles, he was arrested, but he doesn't think in jail or prison currently." Actually, Nicholas Brennan, the guy who plays Xander, was arrested, but he was released, and he came out publicly with what pushed him over the edge and ended up causing his reckless behavior, and thus getting put in jail. Nicholas Brennan suffers from severe depression. Like to the point that he was self-medicating with alcohol, drugs, which caused him to spiral. And he's since been in rehab, gotten treatment, and he's got a hashtag out there that because of my use of language, I don't ever use, but I think it's great. And it's hashtag kicking depression in the ball sack. And he's using his fame as Xander. I know, Shannon, you were talking great things. I really wanted to address this, especially since I've seen left and right people talking about there's been a lot of suicides and attempted suicides in the last few weeks. So it's breaking my heart. But Nicholas Brennan has been using that arrest, that very public arrest, and his fame from Buffy to bring light to depression and to really reach out to his fan base and to say, hey, you're not alone, you know, talk to me. And he runs his Facebook page. He has someone who helps him, like an assistant or a manager or something, when he's, you know, unavailable, but he runs his Facebook page. And if you talk on there, a lot of times he will actually personally respond to people's comments, and he reaches out to his fan base. He talks to them. If you're struggling with depression, he's like, please, you know, tweet me, write to me on my page, you know, here's the suicide hotline, you know, talk to your friends. He's really used that public downfall to help a lot of people. And I admire him for that. I admire his strength and his courage to open up and go, you know what? Yeah, I totally screwed up, and I handled my depression wrong, and I did this the wrong way, but I'm going to rehab. I'm sticking to it. I'm now getting help. I'm getting therapy. I'm on medication. I have a new lease on life. I now want to do things that bring joy to my life. And I encourage all of my fans who struggle with depression to do the same. Don't give up. Let's beat this together. Let's battle this thing together. Let's kick it in its, you know what, together. And I think that's a fantastic thing that he's doing with the fame that he got, because Joss Whedon, you know, had cast him way back when in the 90s. It's been really good to see him be so transparent in his journey. That was my little side rant. Please continue with your Joss Whedon rant.
No, I was done. But that's important, and really, my kitty's being so cute right now. It's what's crucial for anyone fighting depression, or anyone that knows someone fighting depression, is communication. You've got to be open to listening to someone when they need to, you know, sort of unload some of that, because that's a heavy burden to carry. And you know, if you're suffering, it feels like you're all alone, and you're not. There are so many people that have been there and can relate, and, you know, not everybody wants to give you advice or tell you to get over it, or, you know, or tell you that it's just a phase and it'll pass. A lot of people don't want to talk because they've heard all that before, and they don't want to hear it again. They know that it's not helping them, and that, you know, they can't, by their own power, pull themselves out of it. There are still plenty of people willing to listen. So I would definitely encourage anyone who is feeling depressed to talk to someone. You can talk to me, you can talk to Ruth, you can, you know, I'll let Osei speak up for himself, but I'm sure you can talk to Osei. You can talk, I know you can talk to Shane.
Yes.
You can talk to Doug.
You can talk to Daniel.
You know. Right. You know, we will listen. We're not going to tell you that it's, you know, that it's nothing, that you can just pull yourself out of it. Sometimes you just need someone to listen. We're not going to judge you. It's, you know, it's not going to be a thing like that. We want you to feel like you don't have to carry the burden alone, because there is another side. You can reach the other side of it. You can get through that darkness. Sometimes you just need someone to help you get there.
Right. Let me just say, because this is a public, a public forum, and I don't want it getting back to the person this is about, that I've shared their story without their permission. I will just give you details without Shannon. I think you probably was one of the only people I really reached out when this happened. December 26th, somebody very close to me, who is just immensely precious to me, tried to kill themselves. And I think Osei, I think you know this too. They wrote a suicide note. I found out later, but they texted somebody, "I'm sorry, I love you," and thank God, and I say that with all sincerity, thank God they were found. They were found bleeding out. Were taken to the emergency room, stitched up. They spent some time in a psychiatric program, and were released. And they have not been having a good time of it. I'm texting them as often as I can without being overly pushy. But I know from personal experience, and I know from talking to this person, that the biggest concern is that they're a disappointment, that they've let the people around them down, that they have failed us. And from somebody who's sitting here ready to cry because I almost lost someone who means the world to me, I'm not disappointed in that person. I don't think less of them. I don't think they're a failure. I love them, and I want to see them succeed. And so if anybody is struggling with depression or feels like a suicide, I have a system. There's because when you get to that point, you can't always say, "Hey, I want to die." You can't. There's words don't exist sometimes. Send me a message. Send me a text. A single letter, symbol, or number. Send me a single character, and I will know you need someone. That's to me, that's my universal I need help code. I don't care what character it is. I don't care what symbol it is. I don't care what letter it is. You send it to me, I will be there for you. End of story. Because I do not want to be mourning anybody because they felt like they were letting me down or letting someone else around them down because they felt weak, because they felt like they were worthless.
It isn't weak. If you're struggling with the thought that you want to commit suicide, or that you think that you're a burden to the people around you, it isn't weak to admit that. It is strong to admit to someone, to talk to someone and open up and say, "Look, this is my struggle." It's so crucial. It's so courageous to just take that one step and say, "I don't think I can do this. Can you help me?"
And it does not feel courageous. You understand that almost never feel courageous or brave by saying you need help. But the reality is you are. And you are loved, and you are
Right.
precious, and you are necessary to this world. If you were not necessary to this world, you would not have been born. If you were not essential to the people in your life, you would
Right.
not exist. So I, for some reason, whenever I'm on, we always take a serious turn. I apologize. Yesterday was a bad day for this person, and last week I had a nightmare while I was really sick that something terrible happened to him. I woke up, I called, I started texting them. I didn't get an answer. I called somebody else, and I'm like, is something going on with this person? And they said they're having a very bad day. And I was like, to have a nightmare about something bad happening to them, and then to wake up and find out they're having a really low day and they're wanting to do something destructive, just, it shook me. And it's still, so anytime they come to mind, I'm texting, I'm making phone calls, what's going on? What do you need from me? Do you want crazy memes? Do you want to joke? Do you want to talk? Do you want me to leave you alone? What can I do? I'm here for you. My job is to be here for you, because if you're not strong enough, I will be strong for you. End of story.
Right.
There's no question about it.
I will love you until you can love yourself again. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jimmy said, don't take outward happiness as a sign that someone doesn't have problems or depression. You have to listen. You have to listen for the signals. It's okay to ask for help. If you think about a rope, there are many fibers in a rope, any one of which would break. But when they're all wound together, it's strong. It can withstand so much more. So you don't have to be alone. It's more likely that we will just feel like we can't handle the load when we're by ourselves. When we can, be a part of this community and talk to someone and just have that support, suddenly it's like that rope that of many fibers that are twisted together and has become strong. You can be strong enough to get through it. You just, please talk to us. Please talk to someone. Call the suicide hotline, message one of us, just reach out. I mean,
yes.
I was talking to LeDuc about this particular subject, and he had a Bourbon on the Rocks on FTR about this topic. But we were talking about even reaching out to just be a listening ear to someone who has lost someone to depression or suicide, because it's the way that I described it. When someone commits suicide, it's like a bomb goes off. There's at least one casualty, and then there's this radius of sort of, fallout where people are shocked and in pain and don't know what to do, and they're just sitting there waiting for the shock to wear off. We need to remember that those people need our help too. It's not the time for judgments. It's not the time for advice. It's just the time to listen. It's just the time to love.
Yes.
And, that's what is so crucial. We need to listen and we need to love.
Back in 2010, I know, I'm pretty sure I've told this story before. I lost someone to suicide. They hung themselves in their mother's garage. And I found out when I called his mother to wish her happy Mother's Day. Not a good thing to find out when you're driving. I almost hit a bus full, like a school bus. I I could tell you exactly where I was at when she told me that he died, because I almost hit a school bus. I had to pull over, and my mom had to send one of my sisters to come get me, and they had to go get her van later because everything just, the world stopped. And every year, I think I'm going to be okay. On the anniversary of his death, every single year, I'm like, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. I'm taking a personal day from work. And my boss is really good about that. She will talk about it, and I'll tell her, no, I'm good this year, I'm good this year, I'm good this year. And 2 days before, I'm usually starting to turn into a mess, and I take a personal day from work, and I try not to be alone that day, because that's a really hard day. I end up having crazy dreams. I have vivid dreams where he's alive and he's apologizing to me for dying, which is, I know, really, it sounds, being awake, it sounds really weird, but when you're just waking up from this dream where they didn't actually die, and you can say everything you want to say to them, and you can hug them one more time, and you can hear their voice again, and you can smell their smell, and you can hear the footsteps because you know their walk, and you hear the sound of their breathing, and it's something so familiar that you haven't heard in so many years. It's so disturbing, and it's unnerving, and it's unsettling. So it's like around that time, every year, the dreams come back. Every year it shakes me to my core again, and it's like he's died. And when I wake up, he's died all over again. So like you said, if you know someone who's lost someone to suicide, be there for them. Find out if they need to be with somebody on the anniversary date. Find out if they need to just talk about it occasionally, because just because the person died doesn't mean you don't keep hurting. Just because it'll be 7 years this year. I keep thinking it's been this many years. I should be better by now. And for the most part, I am. I'm not crying about it the way I used to. The dreams are finally starting to subside, but it still affects me in a way that I can't control. And I hate that it affects me that way, because I'm still alive. I still have a chance. I still have this opportunity to be alive, and yet my heart breaks every May 12th. I just want to not exist that day. So if you know someone, and I say all that to say, if you know somebody who has lost somebody to suicide, the person who died isn't the only casualty of that suicide. The people around them are hurting in a way that if you haven't lost somebody to suicide, you will never fully comprehend. You can sympathize, and that's fantastic. Be there for them. Don't tell them, I know how you feel. Don't say, well, it'll get better. Just listen. Encourage them to tell their story. Ask them questions. Just be there. Be an active person in their life when they need you.
Right.
There's nothing more supporting than just being there for somebody and letting them tell their story.
Right. And it's the same thing when you know someone with depression. Just be present. Be there, be present for them. Because it's hard. Some people, they can't handle it. It's fear or ignorance or whatever, and they run away. It's like, I don't know what to say, so I'm leaving. And then the person who's suffering, feels even more like they're a burden, and, they're not worth it, or, they just need to know that they matter and that they're heard.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy, you're right. He said, just tell the person, just tell me about it. Yes. Tell me 2 words. 2 words can be the biggest.
How many times have you texted me that?
Yes. Tell me. Tell me. And I'm gonna, because you just know, somebody, you need someone to tell you it's okay to tell me your story. And, Jack, you're right. When I said somebody, the person who died isn't the only casualty, you said something the person doesn't realize when they take their life. They think they're relieving us of a burden, but actually it adds another. And that's the lie of depression. We say that's such
right.
that's almost become a cliche thing to say.
You should be now.
At least the in the window of time we were actually on our show, we had actual content.
Yes. Content.
You gotta look for the silver lining sometimes.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you. And I was doing really good. I was like all, words.
You were like pumped. Like, yes, this is the moment.
And then died. Like, so died.
I wish I could explain why that happened, but I can't.
It's getting. They're being told broadcast has ended. Are we not live again?
It's got to restart. It's got to rebuffer again. So.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The buffering.
Like
please. I'm just.
It's just ugh. I don't know. I don't know why the internet just decided to suddenly hiccup there. That was weird and something I don't think I've ever had to deal with before. So.
It sneezed.
Achoo.
Yeah.
Does anybody have the suicide prevention hotline number we can give out? I don't have it memorized.
I can find it real quick. My browser pulled up Suicide Squad.
Not what we're looking for.
Well.
Suicide Prevention Lifeline.
Some audio,
okay.
But no video. That's all right. Who messed with a thermal exhaust port?
So. Anyway.
Ose messed with the thermal exhaust port.
Well, that just sounds gay. Hey, you know what? We were having a very good, serious discussion, and you just went all. Shannon has.
That's true, though.
If you need it, yes, we need the opposite of the Suicide Squad. You're right, Jack. We are the opposite of the Suicide Squad. We will help you not have suicide. That was a really bad way of putting it.
Yes. What?
If you are,
we're the anti-suicide squad.
If you are thinking about doing self-harm or committing suicide, and you don't feel like you can reach out to one of us because we're too close to you, we're too close to the situation,
right.
Or because you know us.
You need to talk, but you don't want to talk to somebody that you have to face, every day. That's understandable.
Yes, it's absolutely understandable. Shannon has the suicide prevention hotline that you can call day or night. It's an 800 number. It's toll free.
Available 24 hours. It's 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255.
Save it in your phone, just in case. You don't have to save it under suicide prevention hotline in case someone gets hold of your phone. Save it under.
Yeah, just call it talk or call it SOS or whatever.
Something that you can reach out when you need it. there are resources out there. There are people who want to help you. There are people that see you as valuable and precious and important, and they can't imagine life without you in it. You are not a burden. You are not a disappointment. You are sacred. You are fantastic. You know, human beings are so fantastic.
You're a beautiful, unique soul, and
Yes.
the world needs you.
Yes. And if maybe you're on the other side of it where you're fine, you don't suffer from depression, but you're noticing somebody is acting a little different than they normally do. Either they're too upbeat and but it's in a way that doesn't jive with their normal personality, or they're not as communicative as you're used to seeing them, or they've kind of gone MIA or AWOL. Just reach out. Just say, hey, you're on my mind. You are important to me. What's up? Because even letting someone know that you see them, that they're not invisible, can save a life. I mean, telling someone, hey, I see you, can
Right.
mindset. You can actually just stop someone in their tracks from doing something horrible to themselves if you let them know that you acknowledge their existence and you thought them important enough to reach out to. There are stories that, whether they're urban legends or not, that talk about a person who, and I've heard a couple different ones, so I don't know how true they are, where someone said they were walking down the street and they were getting ready to go commit suicide, and somebody stopped and just smiled and said, hey, I like your sweater, I hope you have a great day. And it was like, boom, oh my gosh, like,
Right.
there was a human contact and they weren't invisible, and that
Right.
made the huge difference. So,
Yeah,
I always
practice random acts of kindness. I when I was working as a waitress, just if someone just looked at me and smiled and spoke to me like a person, that made my day, because that's a demoralizing job. And people, they get demoralized, and just having someone um having someone see them and treat them like a human being, um that can make all the difference. That
what
can
if I
make them
say,
hold on one more day.
right? And how many times have I said it does not cost extra to be kind? Um, it doesn't. Like saying, oh wow, you look really nice today, or oh, those are super cute glasses, or oh my goodness, where'd you get your shoes, or um, I just, nice hair, or you've got a great
Yeah.
smile. It just, kindness does not cost us extra. It doesn't cost, unless you're buying someone a latte, which even then, you know what, you can forfeit your $5 latte for somebody else. It's not that big a deal. But kindness does not cost us extra. It doesn't
Right.
subtract from ourselves when we give it to somebody else. It actually adds to us. Kindness actually gives us something back, and
Right.
you could be saving
And
someone's life by being kind.
right. And you know what? It's a crazy thing, when you're kind to someone, you do get a good feeling for yourself as well. You know, so even if someone is only sort of motivated by self um, self-interest, you still get something back for it. But sometimes people, they're kind of in a funk, and maybe they feel like it's just too much effort. The truth is, though, when you're kind to someone and you see that brighten up their day, yeah, it's reciprocal. It will brighten your day too. So even if you're kind of in a funk and you're not feeling it, just do it. And then
Yeah.
it'll come back and you'll feel like doing it more.
Yes.
It's the great thing about kindness. It's contagious.
Yes, it is. Shane made a good point. She said, talk to your doctor. You know, if you're struggling with depression, talk to your doctor immediately. I firmly believe that if you need a medication, you need a medication. I don't believe that all medication is the end all be all for. But
diabetics cannot choose to not be diabetic. They have to have insulin. Sometimes when you're depressed, you cannot choose not to be. Right. You have to have medication.
Right.
It's just, you know, I mean, it's chemistry.
And it's, I will say,
there is no shame in it. No shame at all.
It's not I would say it's definitely not the final say in treating depression, but it's important. It's a big step. It's a big important step to at least, you know, leveling off your chemicals so you can start handling and dealing with what's going on and learning coping mechanisms that will help you when the episodes come back, because it has, you know, this life is a crazy, busy, psychotic, amazing adventure full of ups and downs, and not everybody's brain is equipped, you know, to handle it. We have genetic defects. It just, that's life. That's what happens. So, you know, there's no shame in medication. There's no shame in a psychiatrist or a counselor or a psychologist. There's no shame in getting help. So, you know, talk to your doctor, talk to your friends, find, you know, call the suicide prevention hotline. They have amazing resources.
Some people, they get all the help they need through counseling and, you know, exercise and just, you know, learning how to use things to cope and deal, and even small things. People, you know, we pick around a lot about essential oils, but I have some diffusing right now because it smells nice and it makes me feel better. You know, there are different ways that we deal with stuff, you know, like headaches. I get migraines. There are 101 ways that people deal with migraines, and, you know, not everyone can take medication. You know, a friend of mine said that he's allergic to it. He can't take it, so he has to learn other ways to handle that. The same thing with depression. Sometimes you need counseling. Sometimes you need, you know, the support group, and you find a way to deal. The important thing is that you take that first step, that you accept help in whatever form it comes in, whether it's counseling, whether it's medication, you know, whether it's getting out and getting fresh air and exercise. You just take the first step, you talk to someone, you find out what is going to work for you.
Yes.
Because really what you need to do when you're feeling down is make it one more day. And sometimes you just need to make it 5 more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
There is another side to it, and you just need to get there. So,
you know, with me, my parents and I have been through a very long journey of with me and the depression that I've battled for pretty much my whole life. I started self-injury when I was 12, and I was mostly burning and fingernail clippers, safety pins, whatever I could get to just to hurt myself. And I moved on to razor blades, and I finally stopped cutting in 2005. That's probably, I would say, one of my biggest milestones in the in the history of the depression that I've suffered with, is that in 2005, I can tell you, August 14th, 2005 was the last day I cut. And it has not always been easy. But my parents have been amazing in that they understand when I get really bad, their biggest concern is not, am I going to take my own life, because that's usually not my resort. Their biggest concern is, am I going to hurt myself? Because that's we call it my dad and I and my mom, we call it the toolbox. Everybody has their own toolbox full of coping mechanisms, full of coping skills, full of coping tools. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, for so long, my favorite tool was self-injury. And so that tool I can never fully remove from my toolbox. It's always going to be there. I will never be able to get rid of that being a tool.
Right.
But the idea is
it became ingrained over time.
Right, but the idea is to have other tools that are on top of that tool that work better, that are healthier, that are sat closer to the top of the toolbox, so that those I reach for first. And there are times where I'll be on the phone with my mom or dad, and they'll know, and we'll be talking, and I'll be like, it's just bad. I want to do this, I want to do that, and to the point that I can actually physically feel what it would be like if I started self-injuring again. And it's really scary when I get to the point where I can taste the adrenaline rush that I get, or I used to get, when I would cut. Like it would change the taste in my mouth. I cannot explain why. I have no idea, but how my saliva would taste when I would cut was a very unique thing. And I would actually, when I get to that point where things are so bad I want to cut again, I actually taste that, and I start to crave it. And my parents will sit there and talk to me, and they're just like, promise me you won't do it. And I'm like, we all understand that I can't ever promise I'll never do it. So they'll say, promise me you'll be okay tonight. And if you can't say tonight, promise me you'll be okay for the next hour, and we'll call you back. Or, just give me the next 5 minutes on the phone, and we'll go from there. We'll do time increments. I will not ask you to promise me an indefinite amount of time that you can't guarantee. But promise, be with me for the next 5 minutes and don't hurt yourself. Okay. And after 5 minutes, can you give me can you promise me an hour? Okay. You promised me an hour. Now, can you promise me the rest of the night? Will you just go to sleep? Promise me the rest of the night you won't hurt yourself. And then in the morning, if you feel the same, we'll revisit this. And that's just, you have to learn to delay that and reach for your other tools until you no longer want to reach for that destructive tool.
Right.
But it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of patience. My parents are fantastic in that they have been very patient in my struggle. They've been infinitely patient when I've been on the phone talking about whatever. Also, if you are a self-injury person, or you have a propensity to reach for certain tools if you want to kill yourself, whether it be razor blades, pills, whatever, try not to keep those objects in your house. I know what my toolbox was, what I preferred. I don't keep those implements in my house, period. Does it sometimes make life a little difficult? Yes. But I still can say I have not cut since 2005. So to me, the trade-off is worth it. If it means that I will not hurt myself, I'm totally okay with not having those things in my house. Now, if I'm in an episode, don't ask me that question.
That's a decision you make when you're in a better state of mind. You make a conscious decision that if I feel like hurting myself, at least I will make it more difficult. Because like you said, you can't promise that it won't happen, but you can make that conscious choice that would, perhaps give you the 5 minutes if you have to go out and buy something, if you have to go out and get it, and that's why it's so important to talk to people and just be with them. Sometimes just that conversation gives them that 5 minutes that gets them over the worst of it, and then it's a little bit smoother after that.
Right. Absolutely. I know it was right after it was right before Robin Williams killed himself. Because I remember this so vividly. I actually wrote about it, because when he did that, it it hit me because I was having a really bad, a down episode, like a depressive episode, and I was
remember.
grocery shopping. You remember, it was like 2 days before he killed himself. I was grocery shopping, and I had to walk down the stationery aisle, and I usually purposely avoid the stationery aisle. And
I think I was on the phone with you.
Yes, I think you were. And X-Acto knives were right next to where I needed to get Post-its, and X-Acto knives were right next to it. And full disclosure, I was a big fan of X-Acto knives because you could be very precise, and part of the whole thing was control. There was a precision to it. I understand I have a control issue, and so part of that for me was control. And no, I wasn't on the phone with you. I called you afterwards because I was completely alone and had to walk away on my own, and that was freaky. I called you after that.
That's how I know your preferred tool is because you called me and you were like, I need to get away from this. I need you to convince me to get away from this.
Yes, because I stood there and I could feel it in my hands, and I could feel it on my skin, and I'm standing there trying to pick up Post-it notes and trying not to pick up the X-Acto knife next to the Post-it notes. And I had to force myself in a very real way to walk away. And it was a very hard decision. But I did it. And I even said in the post that I wrote, I didn't feel victorious. I didn't feel like I had won a battle. I felt so weak and so pathetic that it was like 32, I was still fighting this battle that I've been fighting since I was 12. It's a 20-year battle. I should be strong enough to not be that weak. And so I still to this day do not feel quite victorious that I walked away from that because of how I felt when I was staring at the tools.
I think I told you, do you see the door? Can you make it to the door? And then, do you see your car? Can you make it to your car? It wasn't like 5 minutes. It was, can you make it 10 steps? Just go those 10 steps.
and that's very real. Like, we're sitting here, we're kind of laughing about it now, but that's, we're like 2 years removed from it. And so we can kind of chuckle about it now, but sometimes that's a very real thing where you need to physically walk away and your feet are glued. And so understand that if somebody calls you and is like, I want to do this, telling them just don't do it will push them over the edge. I will tell you that right now. It will push them over the edge and they will want to do it even more. So asking them questions like, well, what's going on in your head right now? Or, well, what just happened? Or do you understand what your trigger was this time? Or, what makes you laugh? Just anything to, one, address the situation that they're in, and then two, distract their mind with something that's going to give them the strength to physically walk away from the situation until they're okay again. Just,
sometimes I will throw jokes at you that are just like completely just out of the blue.
Yes, you will.
Just to like redirect your mind just long enough to kind of like break that sort of hold.
Yes, you are very good at that. Yes.
I do. So I'll question myself, like, is that really what I should do? And I know, I think Michael said something about, feeling like what he says would be, too upbeat for the moment. But sometimes you kind of have to sort of shake somebody out of that mindset, just to get them to focus on what you're saying, that, I'm here and I love you.
Well, it's like, I'll send you, one of my favorite memes to send you is the one that says, I love you with all of my butt. And I would say my heart, but my butt's bigger. Because one...
Yes. Ruth ministers to me with memes. Yes. I tell her jokes.
Yes. One, my butt is bigger than my heart. And two, I want you to laugh, because I think that laughter is is so important. It produces endorphins. It lifts your mood. It gives you a connection with humanity. So, yes, I will send Shannon, I'll call her my little doxy, or, my hygienic strumpet. Anybody calls her those names other than me and we have a problem. But it's find out what someone else's, their language is, and speak to them in that language. Give them a connection to humanity that they don't feel they have, but they actually have it. They just, in that mindset, they don't have it. Shannon knows my language. She understands what my heart needs when I hit that low, and she just goes for it. And it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Twerking in yoga pants and
I'm still riding around with your evil spirit in my car. I'm just saying.
What's the spirit in your car? What? Oh, that's yes. You know what? That was payback for bringing the craziness to the hood. Oh, and if you come back, Daddy let me borrow his Mossberg 500, so it's under the bed. Got a big old fat shotgun.
Oh yes.
So we're safe now.
That's good.
But we all know
I wondered if you would make the connection to that video that I sent earlier.
I make it now. Wow. Wow. Yes, I get it now. Gee, thanks.
Hey, not everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Hi, Ose. You look like you're ready to say something.
Not really.
Are you feeling all right? You've been struggling.
He has been struggling.
I'm just tired.
His struggle is real. It's 11 o'clock.
It is 11 o'clock.
And you have a cold.
Do you know that Bug has been sick? Ose's been sick. I've been sick. Nathaniel's been sick. Shannon, have you been sick?
No.
Don't get sick.
She's been old. Is old a sickness?
No, it's not. No. So I'm going to need everybody to be better. And again, Shannon, what's the suicide prevention hotline number?
Oh my gosh. Hang on. 1-800-273-8255.
1-800-273-8255. If you don't feel like you can reach out to one of us, reach out to those people. They are professionals. They will talk to you. I've had to call it myself. And let me tell you, those people are really good at just helping you be okay.
I'll post a link in the chat. I posted a link to LeDuc's show. They talked about
Bless you.
Bless you.
Yet again.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Sorry.
They talked about suicide and depression and how, your story's not over yet.
The semicolon.
So,
The semicolon campaign is amazing. I actually have some shirts I've made with semicolons on it because the whole point behind that is that it's, instead of a period, it's a semicolon. Your story isn't over with. This is not the end. Your story.
Oh my gosh, I have sniffles now. Ose, how dare you?
I'm sitting here like
I just started sniffling.
Well, hopefully it's just a psychosomatic response.
It better be. Here, Shannon, have a tissue.
That's not how this works.
Oh, thank you.
That's no. It's
If
not.
you guys you pulled a tissue out.
That's not how it. That's not how it. Anyway. So
Here, let me wipe your nose.
Oh, okay. This is
It wouldn't be Nerd Rage if we didn't get weird. I mean, We've been so serious. We need to like let
Right.
it loose and be a little weird.
Unfortunately, we really don't have the time for that because it's really a good time to end the episode. Anyway, this has been Nerd Rage, episode 161. We hope that you enjoyed the episode as much as one can enjoy an hour-long discussion on suicide and depression. All the same, we heard some pretty important things tonight, so take it to heart. At any rate, be sure
Sing a
to...
song.
What?
Could sing a song. You know, there's a song in Buffy that would be. You know what I'm thinking about from Shannon, from the episode where they sing. That would be
Touch
perfect.
the fire.
No, what can't we face if we're together? What's in this place that we can't weather? Apocalypse, we've all been there. The same old trips, why should we care? What can't we do if we get in it? We'll work it through within a minute. We have to try. We'll pay the price. Come on, you gotta help me sing. It's do or die. Hey, I've died twice. Come on, talking about being together.
I
And
don't remember that one.
wow.
It's just as well because we haven't even gone to the internet links.
Okay.
But you should probably follow us on the internet. Follow us at fullfrontalnerdy.net, where we occasionally write things. Very rarely.
Sometimes.
Occasionally. Once in a while. You can also follow us on social media. We are all on Facebook, of course. You can also follow us on Twitter. You can follow Shannon at...
Limbus_N_coffee.
She also has one of those Instagram things, I believe.
Yes, at Lively Habit.
Ruth does things too on Twitter.
At Miss Ruth 1021. And Instagram at Miss Ruth 1021.
Should I make my Twitter and my Instagram the same?
Probably.
It'd be handy.
You know what? That suicide post that I wrote around the time of Robin Williams. We can put that up on Nerd Rage for Full Frontal Nerd Rage.
Okay.
I'll give it to you. I'll have to.
Full Frontal Nerdery.
I will get it to you tomorrow when I fire up my computer.
No, don't set your computer on fire. You just hit the on button. It'll work better.
Our website is so decadent. It's Full Frontal.
Full front. What's going on with Full Frontal Nuttery?
Whatever.
Nothing.
We need to do something with Full Frontal Nuttery.
Well, I made that and then like my internet crapped out and I'm just now getting that fixed. They still didn't come back and finish today.
Anyway, you can also follow me at OAW Dixon for links to the show and literally nothing else. And you can also follow me at Oscar and Fire, OSCRONPHAER, for more general tweets.
It's OSE, not OSC. OSE.
That's what I said. Anyway, you can also follow my YouTube channel of the same name, Oscar and Fire. Alright, so there is Nerd Rage. As you can tell, my voice is definitely not warmed up at all tonight because I have not spoken at all tonight. At all.
You spoke in the beginning.
In the beginning. That was it. And there was lots of frustration primarily. Anyway. So there is Nerd Rage music tonight. I know I've mentioned them before, but the Oral Nuts, they are an outfit on YouTube. They like to make music, especially electronic stuff and whatnot. And they are, but I think my favorite thing, gotta try that again, jeez. My favorite thing from them, of course, is their parody of the Star Wars saga. If you want, you could check them out. But tonight's Nerd Rage music comes from them. It's called The Power of the Force. It's like an electronic remix of the Imperial March combined with like the Force theme. I think it's something else that I've never quite been able to identify. At any rate, I want to thank you again all for what. Again, we want to thank you all. That's why I stumble. I didn't say we properly. We want to thank you for watching, and we will catch you next week for more well, hopefully for something a little more lighthearted than this episode turned out to be.
It was necessary.
And, our general nerd rage.
We called Joss Whedon a jackwagon, and then we told people, about the dangers of suicide and depression.
Yeah.
I feel like the dangers of depression would be more accurate because the dangers of suicide are kind of self-evident.
And we talked about my
the
new
dangers
bangs.
to everyone around the person who commits suicide.
We talked about my new bangs. 4 inches off of it.
Right? We talked about that. Her awesome new haircut.
Right?
We
got layers put in. What you can't see are that there are layers. So see, like layers. There's short. Yeah, it's really bad.
Anyway,
it's still really long.
Until next week, everybody. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening anymore.
You want to join us?
No.
Woo, hair! I had a fro once, like a full fro. Like it was like a afro.
Okay, I'm gonna end this call now.